investment group meeting. We have a couple of real ones on here, myself and Joshi. We're gonna run through this one super, super quickly. We got two guys on here, and these are the two guys who caught a really crazy play this week. Oscar Health. Um, I'm gonna talk really quickly about Oscar, why I bought in, what I think about it. Um, but really, the reason I bought into Oscar is twofold. Number one, threefold. Number one, it's one of the stocks that retail Twitter has been really, really kind of excited about recently. And we saw them excited about Palantir, we saw them excited about Hims, we saw them excited about companies
Nebius.
like that. And, there's something to it. So I started looking into Oscar. IPO'd at $32 a share, was very, very overvalued when it IPO'd back in 2021, as were most companies. Went down all the way down to $2 a share in the middle end of 2022. Insane, insane, 95% plus correction, 90% plus correction. Then I see, a company like UNH that I own a little bit of, good amount, and have been adding to a little bit as it was going below 300. And then I say, you know what? It looks like the future of healthcare might not be a company like UNH. Maybe something like Oscar, this new tech first focused healthcare platform that I believe people in New York City and like other like really metro areas like that are using. I've never personally used it. Maybe that could be a real avenue. Their numbers look pretty good. Their growth looks good. Their balance sheet is pretty healthy. And I was like, let me just take a starter position. So I took a starter position. Also took some call options expiring in January of 26 or December of 25. I don't remember which ones. And added a little bit more on a retrace. And my average is like $14.40, $14.50. And now we see it at like 18.20 in the matter of like a week and a half, 2 weeks. So, I'm not going to say I know everything about the company. That's why I didn't go with a full size. I just went with starter position. And now, am I going to chase it? Probably not. Could it go back up to 24, 28, 32? Sure. We're going to have to kind of see what happens. But yeah, that's kind of my reason why I got into it. That was a new play for me. Josh, what about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I was accumulating around the 14 range. I think my average price is around 14.50. Yeah, I'm not gonna chase it as well. I mean, it's ripping now. It hit 1940 when the market closed yesterday. So I mean, I didn't get my full position in, but if it does correct back in those 14, 15 range, I'll keep accumulating. But right now it looks good. Yeah, it's same kind of thesis with like Oscar Health and Hims. It's kind of the old style of I think healthcare is evolving in the right direction. With UNH, I am accumulating at these levels, but I'm more excited with companies like Oscar and Hims. Um, so yeah, it's just a more trendy, like evolving type of industry. I see it going in this direction rather with the UNH. I don't know. It's just everything's so outdated, and I think with healthcare overall, they have to make a change. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential in that area, in that space. We're just going to have to see what happens. We're just going
yep.
to have to see what happens there. Any other companies you have your eye on?
Yeah, I have a few, but first, I remember was talking about Micron Technology MU, I think
Mm, hmm.
probably a month
Yeah.
back. I think it was around the 70 $80 range. That thing
Hmm.
ripped to like 122.
Really?
So if anyone's
Already?
actually listened to these
I added that.
calls,
I added that slightly. Yeah.
yeah, I did a full analysis. I picked out a couple companies that day, and I think one of them was Adobe, and one of them was MU. And that thing
Um, I
absolutely,
used the winner out of those two. Yeah, I added.
yeah,
I got
MU
a
absolutely
good amount of
ripped.
Adobe, honestly.
Um, what I'm looking at now, well, yeah, I started accumulating an Oscar, but it absolutely ripped. So I didn't really get my full position in. I started a Rocket Lab position. I might look to add more on Novo Nordisk down at these levels soon.
Yeah.
And I'm also looking at Marvell Tech. On a technical perspective, it's bouncing off a major resistance here, and there is a huge gap from there's a huge gap from 75 all the way up to like 85. So
Mm,
usually those gaps tend to fill on the daily, and it looks like
mm.
it bottomed out around 50. So um, looking to get in those, and then ASTS is another big talker on Twitter, but that thing is ripping as well, and I'm not gonna chase that at all.
Yeah.
And companies like Coinbase and Hood are also exciting companies, but the thing is those are
Yeah.
ripping too, and I didn't
Yeah. I mean,
accumulate
bro,
what
one
it.
company that's ripping is Circle. Like, I don't even want to talk about Circle. It's gonna
Yeah,
make me sick.
Circle is going crazy,
That's gonna make me too sick. But
but it
yeah. I
is
mean,
also
catch
exciting
'em all.
seeing Circle go crazy to for the like the whole
Yeah.
crypto industry. So
Yeah, you can't catch them all. That's what I've learned. You just got to catch the right ones with the right size at the right time and have a right exit if exiting is part of the plan. But yeah, I mean, I'll just say this. I sold more than I bought this week. I added Novo Nordisk long dated, slightly out of the money calls and some other things here and there. I had a couple
what
Adobe
makes
shares,
you what makes you decide to buy a out of the money
calls
call
instead of.
versus actual equity?
The problem with me in equities, I already own so many equities that I um, that I was like, you know what, I don't want to own another equity, so let me put this in my trading, my swing account. So I know that if Noto Nordisk hits 100, $110, I'm going to be selling. Now, in a long term, could very well be the case that it would have been better to just buy the shares and hold it for 5, 10, 20, 30 years. But I also am not super, super bullish on Ozempic long term. I think there's a lot of competition. I think there's going to be a lot of problems that come up with it. So, and I don't love drug manufacturers. So I'm okay with not owning it long term. And I know that no matter what happens, I'm going to have to pay short term gains. And it just is what it is, you know. I'm kind of okay with that. That was my decision.
Yeah. I think honestly looking for a high like something like Oscar would be perfect for buying options at the bottom obviously,
Yeah,
but Novo
and I
Nordisk
have
kind
and
of
I have some options on Oscar, and
yeah.
that's I like options with shares ideally because then I can sell the options, realize big gains. Like my Oscar, like I just pulled up my Schwab. I bought the options contracts on June 4th, 2 weeks ago. My options contracts are up 133%. The underlying stock is up 29.6%.
Mm.
That's the power of options contracts.
There should be an actual like tax exemption where you realize options profits and roll that over into equities.
Hey,
Same thing as like real estate, for example, like the 1031 exchange.
little
Um,
1032, roll over the profits into
yeah, you
another
roll it
stock.
over to another. Yeah, exactly. So that there should be something like that. I just thought of that when you were talking about it. And then I saw some other. I forgot who on Twitter made a ton of money on Oscar. Someone also made a ton of money on Oscar and rolled it over into actual stock. But the thing is,
Yeah.
they're still gonna have to pay capital gains tax on those options gains, um, even though
Yeah.
he's holding it to stock. So I don't know. That's something that hopefully the they'll look into changing that tax law, but I don't know if that will happen anytime soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, like something like Oscar, Hood, like those high momentum stocks are, they're very enticing for long dated options, but something like
Yeah.
Novo Nordisk or like UNH,
Well, Novo
um,
Nordisk, I think we're gonna see a pop, and I don't love it long term. That's kind of my thoughts.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
But awesome. Well, there's another one. Go ahead. Were you gonna say something? You gonna drop some knowledge on us?
no. I'm just looking at Novo Nordisk's chart and it just looks, I don't know, dude. I think
Don't get scared of a chart.
it doesn't look good.
Hey, Josh, the chart reader. We're gonna find out who's
I
real,
am okay.
who's
I'm
right, and who's
The
wrong.
thing is, I like to combine TA and fundamentals. So I like to look at good companies if they're cheap, like their forward PE is good, if they're actually valuable company, and then I like to look at their chart on timing. So I look at the fundamentals on what chart, like what stock to invest in, and then I look at technical analysis to time the market. My timing's not perfect, but
Yeah.
it's pretty good. I mean, even with HIMS, like I saw it going to the low 30s, for example, and that's when I started investing. But then it
Yeah.
hit the 20s. So when it hit 20s, I started investing more. And then my average price was around like $30 flat, and then it popped up because of the
Mhm.
conviction I had. So something like that, for example.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I understand. Well, we'll have to see what happens. But Joshy,
I know you hate the TA guys, but it's a
no,
thing
I
for a
listen
reason.
TA. I use TA. I use TA sometimes, but thing is, TA.
TA
It's
only
not
goes so far. You might miss the move.
that.
That's the
You might
thing.
miss the
Like
move, and TA might be wrong. And who are you
another
gonna blame?
example missing the move, like Robinhood, for example, right? Like Robinhood is super overextended and I'm missing the whole move with Robinhood, and hopefully it does correct because that is a valuable company to be invested in. But it might go to 100, 120, I don't even know before it actually corrects to back to where it
Yeah,
is now.
it could.
So
It could.
that's the risk you know that you're playing there with TA.
Yeah. Exactly, exactly, exactly. Well, everybody, there you have it. You heard it from Josh Rigo. Now, this guy's a real one. He's a real one. You heard it from Benny B, another real one. Caught Oscar. We caught Palantir. We caught Hims. We catch them all over here. Call me Ash Ketchup. Because we catch them all.
Ash
And
Ketchum.
that's it. All right. We will have more people on the next one. People are sleeping and geeping. It's
They're
happy
sleeping,
Juneteenth.
bro.
Happy Juneteenth to the real ones in the back. I'm about to go celebrate. Catch you all next time. Adios.
Yo.